your perspective with us. And viewers, let's shift our focus. Now, the European Parliament has approved a resolution proposing a default minimum age of 16 for accessing social media, aiming to protect adolescents from the mental health risks linked to excessive online exposure. Now, the legislation also calls for a harmonized digital age limit of 13 for video sharing services and AI companies. Social media giants like TikTok, Facebook, and Google have faced scrutiny over their role in fueling a mental health crisis among young users. Additionally, the resolution proposes a ban on loot boxes, which allow minors to buy or win virtual items with real money, and calls for age-appropriate content on these platforms. Now, though the resolution is not legally binding, it signals the European Union's growing focus on children's digital safety and mental well-being. Meanwhile, citizens in Paris have spoken out against the move. Let's listen in.
C'est un point positif comme négatif. Positif du sens où on leur inculque pas directement l'envie et des idées trop néfastes que les réseaux sociaux peuvent donner. Mais d'un côté, le fait de leur autoriser les réseaux sociaux, ça leur permet un peu de déjà savoir de eux-mêmes, d'apprendre d'eux-mêmes sur ce qu'il faut faire et ce qu'il ne faut pas faire et comment utiliser les réseaux sociaux. Et je pense qu'il est primordial aussi d'assister ces jeunes de moins de 16 ans sur les réseaux sociaux.
Enfin, moi, c'est un moyen de communication et j'ai des copains à moi qui n'avaient pas les réseaux sociaux et pour eux, c'était un peu prenant de ne pas avoir les réseaux sociaux parce qu'il y a ce truc de tout le monde suit tout le monde et voilà. Après, je sais que moi, j'aimerais beaucoup diminuer cette consommation des réseaux sociaux parce que c'est facile. Maintenant, les contenus sont très petits et rapides. Mais je pense que ça doit être... En fait, c'est la violence sur les réseaux sociaux, tout ce qui est guerre, etc., qui doit vraiment être expliqué et dire que c'est des images violentes et qui doivent pas être en accès pour tout le monde, je pense.
All right, and John Rossomander, who's president of Viking Research Associates and geopolitical analyst, is joining us live from Washington. Thank you, Mr. Rossomander, for joining us here at NewsX World. And now, how do you see this move being taken by the European Union? Of course, we know how earlier Australia had also implemented a similar measure. Is this a step in the right direction?
Well, it's definitely a step in the right direction because adolescents are very impressionable and they take in what they see on social media as the truth. When, really what the social media is somebody trying to manipulate them and they're not, wise enough. I mean, when you're an adolescent, your brain is still developing. So, patterns that you pick up in adolescence stay with you for the rest of your life.
But how is this measure going to be enforced? Will it strictly be adhered to? Are there not going to be loopholes that the adolescents are going to come up with and continue their use of social media?
I mean, there's no doubt that, adolescents are smart. They'll figure out ways of getting around it, impersonation, and so forth. I mean, that's the oldest, teenage measure in the book. However, if they can come up with, verification or like passcodes that maybe parents get on their phones or something like that that are required to access social media, then it might become more challenging. But never underestimate the resourcefulness of a teenager.
And there is also an increasing reliance on social media for the adolescents, especially as far as knowledge seeking and dissemination is concerned. What alternatives are they going to be resorting to?
I mean, you have other, like underground groups that they might go to. I mean, the biggest threat about social media is that it provides information that's unfiltered and uncurated. So the teenagers end up becoming susceptible to messages that their parents might not approve of.
All right, well, requested to stay on with us, Mr. Rossomander, as we have some news from Poland now to give to our viewers. Now, Poland is set to receive nearly $51 billion from the European Union's Safe Defense Program. aimed at strengthening its military capabilities. Prime Minister Donald Tusk has announced that the funds will support a range of defense initiatives, including the purchase of drones for the European Union's Eastern Shield, which safeguards the bloc's borders with Russia and Belarus. The provision will also fund space projects, AI development for defense, and military equipment. Additionally, Poland's Navy and border guards will benefit from the Safe Baltic program, enhancing security in the Baltic Sea. Tusk also mentioned the funds would be used for infrastructure projects like roads and railways directly to national security. Now, Poland, which is one of the top spenders on defense in NATO, has been a strong supporter of Ukraine in its fight against Russia. Let's bring back Mr. Rossomando into the discussion. Do you think this is going to help Ukraine now?
Well, I think that right now it's just no matter. I think it's probably going to be more helping Europe to defend against and deter any potential Russian aggression. I mean, right now, Poland's army has become the strongest in NATO in Europe after the United States. So I think this will send a message to Russia to stand back in terms of trying to invade NATO. I think that in terms of Ukraine, it won't have any impact whatsoever.
How do you see Poland using this amount that's going to be dispersed?
Well, I see it as working to further enhance its army, further able to enhance deterrence against Russia. I mean, right now, the Poles are building the most advanced army in NATO, and one that a few years ago stood no chance against the Russians, but now because we know of the limitations of the Russian war machine, that it can be a good deterrent.
All right, I thank you for now, Mr. Rossomando, for joining us here at NewsX World and giving your time to us. With that, viewers, let's move on to some news from Hong Kong. We're now learning that at least 13 people are dead and 15 injured after the massive fire engulfed several high-rise residential towers in Tai Po district. Thick grey smoke was pouring out from the burning buildings as firefighters battled the intense blaze. Authorities have said that several residents remained trapped and others suffered critical burn injuries. Now, some firefighters were also injured while trying to contain the flames ripping through the 31-story towers. Many children are covered in bamboo scaffolding. Dozens of fire engines and ambulances line the streets as crews use truck and other resources to contain the fire. Residents plead for government support as many people remain trapped inside. Let's listen in to the Deputy Director of Fire Services.
2:51, we received a report stating that there was a fire at Guang Chang House, and after 5 minutes, we arrived at scene. We also found that the fire was spreading to nearby buildings and spreading inside the buildings. So we immediately carried out our firefighting and rescue operation. Because the temperature in the fire scene is very high, so we decided to upgrade the fire to number 5 alarmed fire so that we can have more resources to deal with the situation.
That's all we have time for. Keep watching NewsX World for more international news updates from around